Good afternoon. This is Monday, August 22nd, 2022. It's special commissioner court, 2 p.m. I call a meeting to order and do establish a quorum here today. And acknowledge any guests is here also. Open it up for public hearing. And hearing none, we'll be closing public hearing. We'll be deliberating and action on the following items. Number one, discuss and approve repayment of funds in the amount of $7,879.81 to the Texas State, Texas Secretary of State Election Fund Management of HAFA Care 2020. Ms. Leah.
Yes, sir. This is, so funds we got under the CARES Act for the HAVA grant, which is the Health America Rate. And they gave us the money ahead of time, put it in the general fund. And I used all I could with what they had stipulations on how to use the money. And this is what's left over, and we have to just turn it and give it back to them. And the check was actually cut on the 17th.
Okay, this is not taxpayers' money.
No.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Here a second.
We'll put everything in.
Yeah, he's asking, is that where we usually put that kind of money, is in the general fund? Is that?
The CARES Act money, yes, we did. The CARES money, we did. Normally, our grant grant money goes in a grant account. But this one, we put in the general. Because it was just miscellaneous expenses that we were able to use.
We came out almost 7,000.
Yeah, about half and half, yeah.
Second.
Motion is made, Mr. Fong, second, Mr. White. We approve repayment of the funds of $7,879.81. Any more discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Same sign opposed. Here, none, unanimously passed. Number two, discuss and appropriately approve the resolution electing to utilize the standard allowances to determine lost revenue as allowed by the Coronavirus State and Local Recovery Fund American Rescue Plan Act. Mr. Taylor, are you on there?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay. Would you explain that to us?
Sure. Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Once again, this goes back to the ARPA funding, which the county has received. You received the first tranche, and then the second tranche should be received here in the near future. When the funds came out, Treasury set up a interim final rule. In the interim final rule, there are 4 expenditure categories. Those categories being public health and economic impact, premium pay, investments in infrastructure, and revenue loss. With revenue loss being the most flexible program and giving the county the most ability to move those funds around as it best fits the county. In the final rule, Treasury came back and said, as it relates to revenue loss, we're going to give each recipient an option on their allocation. If they want to designate these funds or a portion of these funds for revenue loss, they can do the calculation that we've provided them, or they can take the standard allowance up to $10 million if they received more than that. If they receive less than 10 million, then they can claim the entire amount as revenue loss. There again, what this is, if you will, these four categories, this is basically the pot of money that the county is going to claim these funds in. You can divide it up if you want to. It is our recommendation that the county place all of these funds under revenue loss and declare all these funds as revenue loss. In declaring it under the standard allowance, there are no documentation requirements required on the county's part in order to do that. Now, once again, that's to declare this as revenue loss. Now, as far as the expenditure of these funds, once again, in an effort of the most transparency, I would recommend that it come back before the court, and as these funds are allocated to various activities, that it be presented to the court to take action on the expenditure of these funds. But this today is just a resolution to declare these funds as revenue loss on behalf of the county. And you do have the capability of declaring the entire allocation that the county has received.
Any questions to Mr. Taylor? Okay, here, no more questions. Would anybody like to entertain a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Motion been made, Mr. Palm, been seconded, Mr. Benson, that we approve the resolution electing to utilize this for the lost revenue in the whole amount. In a whole amount of the rescue ARPA money. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposed. Hearing none, passed unanimously. Number 3 is to present proposal for 2022 tax rate calculation.
So I took y'all one clock the other day and I just reread it for y'all. The no new revenue and no rate is 0.66277 for $100 of value. The no new revenue rate is 0.719914, and this is the number that is not a tax rate increase. It is no hearing is required. The debt rate is 0.062143 per $100 of value. The de minimis rate factor is 0.03856 per $100 value. And total de minimis rate would be 0.62972 per $100. And then the voter approval rate is 0.824559 per $100 of value. And this is just something that the board has to decide what proposed rate they're going to vote on today to fund their budget. The county's budget.
Okay, that's just to be presented, and then the next item will be approving it, right?
Yes, sir.
So you heard the calculation that Ms. Melissa presented. If there's any questions, y'all need to ask her about that.
Are we gonna be able to change that? I know we're just setting this today, but are we gonna be able to change it once we figure out what all the bills are and how much money that we're actually spending per year? What payroll is, what the bills are versus the amount of income that we've got coming in?
Whatever rate you propose today. It can't be raised, but it can be lower.
Okay. And how many days have we got to do that?
Are we having another budget workshop or is this it?
We'll be having more.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
it-
it's gonna be September when you set the tax rate.
Okay.
Okay, number 4 is discuss and appropriate approve the proposed 2022 tax rate calculation.
I go with no new revenue rate.
Can't,
Make that a motion.
Yes, sir.
I hear a second on
I second.
that. Motion been made by Mr. Benson, second Mr. Palmby. That we go with, no new revenue tax, it would be a 0.719914 per $100 worth of valuation. Any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Same sign opposed. Hearing none, passed unanimously. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Benson, second Mr. Palmby. To adjourn. 15 after 2.
can't. Can't lock in, that's. I can